Jennifer here with my special guest, Corey the cat. And tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about why I don't teach witchcraft. Um, Now, I know sometimes as a witchy creator, someone who makes lots of products, someone who um, has a YouTube channel and a content creator is why am I not teaching witchcraft? Especially as it pertains to the types of products that I make. Because there's a lot of different ways that you can use products of any kind. I'm planning a video series because I realize one of the things that is kind of lacking in some of the witchy content is sort of you'll see like say a return to sender spell or a truth spell or a love spell or something, but people there's not a lot of videos talking specifically about different types of products that are used in the spell work. So that's something that's going to be coming up soon that I'm going to be doing, because I honestly, it's really hard for me being neurodivergent, between the ADHD and the autism for me to really formally train or teach witchcraft in um, a meaningful way. Like I can tell you kind of like how I use things, or sure you can use this in a candle spell, but there's 100 different types of candle spells you can do. You can interchange any of the types of products that I make. So there's tons of different ways to do candle spells, and they may vary wildly based on the type of witchcraft you practice, what path you're on, what cultural traditions you are part of or embrace. Like a hoodoo candle spell might be very different from a traditional witchcraft spell versus doing a full-on demonic evocation for using that spell. When I create products, and I think I have videos on this about our creation process, is that I create them to be used by anyone of any skill level in a variety of ways. So you can do a candle spell as simple as anointing a candle in an oil, stating your intentions and lighting the candle, or writing a petition, or 100 other things that you can do. The thing is, you really have to find what works for you, because what works for me, I've developed based on my own personal needs. Being someone who is neurodivergent, someone who often has chronic pain and mobility issues, I've developed my practice around those things. You may not have those issues, so there might be different things you can do that I can't. And not for nothing, I am terrible at writing shit down. Like I do most of my work very extemporaneously. Like I do things just on the fly, on a whim. I don't really do a whole lot of prep work, or I'm not pulling out my books and looking for incantations and things like that. I mean, very occasionally I've done that. I mean, if I do that like once or twice a year, I mean, yeah, that's probably about average. But I'm just not at this point in a place where I can really teach witchcraft on top of running my business. So the best I can do is making the videos for my YouTube channel. I do try to link them in a lot of my products. I always post them on social media, and send them out in my newsletters. So um, maybe at some point I can cobble together something from all the videos I record and put it into some sort of class or whatnot. But I'm just not kind of in the place where I can like take on apprentices and do things, because my life and my ability to do things is often very random. Like I could plan all I want of what I'm going to do tomorrow. I may wake up in awful pain, or I may not be able to sleep, and that throws out my entire day. Or like Thursday, I have to take Corey to the vet. That's going to eat up a chunk of my day, and I'm going to be shifted off. Sometimes I get large wholesale orders in that suddenly I've got to, drop everything. And because of the volume in which they may be ordering products might wipe me out of stock of that, or I'm like, well, they ordered 6 and I only have 5, so now I've got to make a whole new batch of something. So um, there's just a lot of moving parts in my life because of the nature of my business that makes it hard for me to be able to teach. Now, I can't teach witchcraft through emails and Etsy conversations. I mean, I can point you in certain directions, but it's really hard for me to be able to do that. Um, I do my best to answer questions, but it's not always conducive to, um, I bought this thing and now I need to know how to be taught how to use it. It's not. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean to sound. I don't have time to teach witchcraft if you buy it for a $20 product you bought. Like, I don't mean to sound like, a B word about it, but it's just sort of like if I was going to teach witchcraft, given the amount of, you know, education behind what I do, it's not going to be, I'm not gonna charge $20 for it, not to be pompous or whatnot, but it's anyone can teach witchcraft. It's but what you bring to it in terms of your own background, skill set, education, natural intuitive. Like I could not teach a class on tarot because I just am not that great at tarot readings. I could teach about crystals. I could teach about other things, but there's some areas where it's just sort of not in my wheelhouse. And when it comes to doing spell work that you can use any of my products in, it's very diverse. I mean, you can use them in any particular way you want. Um, you don't have to do it like I do it. Um, because fuck if I can tell you what that is half the time. I need to keep better records, but it is what it is. I try. I try. I am not good at uh I'm not good at recording rituals in the terms of here's what I did step by step because I don't go by um you know invocation 101 from this book. I just kind of say my own thing. I call in the spirits the way I call in the spirits, and or whatnot. Do I cast a circle? Half the time, probably not. But and I'm emphasizing this a lot more in the video content that I'm creating. Is it's about creating your own practice, and you can learn things. There are a lot of witchcraft courses out there. Some of them. Ask for recommendations on witchcraft courses because I've wasted a hell of a lot of money on shit that wasn't worth. Okay, bye, Corey. I think he's going to go pester moon. I've wasted a lot of money on shit that wasn't worth it at all. Not everyone's teaching skills are the same. Not everyone can convey information in a way that makes sense for everyone, especially if you have different accessibility needs. My cats are having a silent battle on the floor. Oh, Moon is winning. Oh, she body slammed him. They're so funny when they play fight because they don't make any noise at all. They don't meow or hiss or growl or anything. They just, beat the crap out of each other. If Corey's being a dick and Moon isn't having it, she'll make some noise. But most of the time when they play fight, I'm sorry to digress into what my cats are doing currently, but oh man, Corey's got this epic like douchebag face on. Anyways, cats aside, and I completely lost my train of thought. But everyone has different ways of teaching, and some are hit or miss. And there's so many, especially if you're doing online coursework. There are some barriers to that. and not everyone is good at teaching online. So I've had taken some amazing online classes, and I've taken ones that like, can I get my money back on those? Not that I would, but because that's kind of tacky. But um, and the price tag of the class doesn't always equal quality. Um, because if I put a string of videos together like this and slap $299 on it, make you pay for it, I feel like I would be ripping you off. But anyways, some other people might not. But we all have different ways of learning, ways of teaching, and I am not, right now at least, at a point where I can consistently devote time to it. Because I'd be like, hey, let's meet at 3 o'clock in the morning because my schedule is weird. I am recording this video and it is, last time I checked, it was about 1:30 in the morning. So, because I do a lot of things late night like this because sometimes I sleep, sometimes I don't. Moon, please don't try to pull my webcam down. I'd appreciate that. She does not care. So, what I would say as far as learning witchcraft goes, if you're looking for guidance, I'll provide as much as I can through my channel because that's the easiest mode for me because, hey, I can make videos at 1:30 in the morning. I will give book recommendations. I also do a weekly live stream on Saturday nights. You can ask questions. If you can't watch the live stream while it is live, you can always submit questions in advance and I can answer them on there. You know, I am trying at least to kind of get some of this information a little more formal because also I kind of hate answering the same questions over and over again. So for me to be like, hey, here's the video I made on it that answers this. But yeah, so I would say, there is so much information out there right now and it is so easily accessible. And, it's, I mean, a lot of times when I need to figure something out, like I watch videos, like I was like, I've always like, I made a video recently on how I created my first servitor. How did I create my first servitor? I watched a whole bunch of videos on how to create servitors and I've read things about it. So that's how I learned how to create a servitor. Watch some videos. And, then I kind of made a video myself on the process of how I did this. So there's just a whole lot of different ways and everyone's situations are going to be entirely different when it comes to what you're trying to do in any spell or thing. So understanding the basic mechanisms is going to be helpful. And again, since I am a certified occult nerd, read as much as you can, watch as many videos as you can, dedicate your life to learning as much knowledge of the occult. I'm just using that term broadly, wherever you fall on that spectrum. Dedicate as much time as you can to learning. And you'll just find that there's something that come naturally to you. And that over time, you're building something that is your own. And that is the most important thing because who the fuck cares how I do witchcraft? Because it's my own thing. When it comes to things like, say, like demonic evocation or whatever, you can make it really freaking complicated, or you could just be like, hey, you guys around? Cool. All right. Or you could do something more formal, simplistic. There's a whole spectrum in which you can do, say, a demonic evocation, and they're all perfectly valid. You just have to find what works for you. If doing a 9-hour demonic evocation is the thing that makes the most sense for you and you think that works well for you, by all means do that. I cannot do that. I don't have the time, nor will my body endure it. So if I do a demonic evocation in the astral realm, that is just as valid. And or if I do a simple, I'm at my altar or whatever, and I'm like, you know, call upon Lucifer. It doesn't have to be a huge, like book long incantation to evoke Lucifer. Especially as you develop relationships with different spiritual entities. But I digress on that topic. I've talked about that before, the differences between evocation, invocation, summoning, channeling, etc. Because a lot of times there's interchangeable terms that get thrown around. So I'm doing my best to make as much educational content on this channel based on a lot of the questions I get from customers and clients, things like comments on videos and social media, things I see, things people suggest, stuff I watch on other channels, and I'm like, hey, I've got some thoughts on that, or have my own take on it. So, yeah, that is in the nutshell of it. I mean, it really, for me, it just comes down to being neurodivergent, having chronic pain and disability, and wildly unpredictable sleep-wake cycles makes some of that really hard for me, to be able to teach in a meaningful way. So I will do my best to make awesome videos for you guys. And by all means, feel free to make requests, ask questions. I will make videos. Right now I'm doing like 4 or 5 videos a week sometimes, maybe more, occasionally a little less, but that seems to be where I'm at this year, is making a lot of video content when I can. So anyways, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Live deliciously, not stupidly. Love y'all.